to kick things off, we've seen that why do you think analytical problem solving has come out as the most important skill in the contact center of the future?
I think it's an important skill that we've always needed in our contact center advisors, to be perfectly honest. But I think increasingly, this has been an area where, I mean, automation has been creeping into the contact center for many, many, many years. It's not alien at all. But now we've got, more and more sophisticated levels of AI, potentially taking away all of the simple stuff. So the simple stuff, the emotive stuff still comes, or the complex stuff and the emotive stuff tends to still come through to the human. But the AI, by and large, if you've done it right, which is a big if, should
Yeah.
be taking a lot of the transactional stuff out of the contact center. So doesn't mean that the contact center is sitting there twiddling its thumbs, unfortunately. And we're certainly seeing, things like call volumes are not going down, but things like call handle times are going up, which I think is symptomatic of the fact that we are already seeing a fair amount of complexity and emotiveness come into the contact center. So if you've solved all the simple stuff
Yeah.
using automation, what are you left with? Well, your AI is now your agent. Your advisor, your human advisor, is now having to tackle some of those complex things that AI is going, well, I don't know how I'm going to solve this. So that's where I think that analytical problem solving side really does come in. And I'm not really surprised that people did vote it top.
Oh, thank you for that insight. I also really loved, you wrote in your kind of section of the report about how collaboration skills may well shift from collaborating with other humans to fleets of AI agents. I mean, if you were a contact center leader, how would you prepare for this possible shift? I mean, it's a very interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, collaboration came quite low in the votes, and I can
Yeah.
see if you're thinking sort of human collaboration, because actually, I mean, you do collaborate in a contact center environment, but it's quite an isolating environment, largely because it's you and the customer. So, I mean, I keep saying a lot of the AI stuff tends to concentrate on chatbots because they're the showy bits, but I think the more interesting bit really developing now is this augmentation piece with AI. So the fact that you could have, well, we're already seeing little AIs, say, listening to the call, summarizing the call, and instead of people having to sit in wrap, typing up what that call was about, or indeed during the call try and type it up, the AI can do it for you. So it's a little companion that's kind of sitting alongside you. And I keep saying, from an advisor perspective, I'm a psychologist, so I'm interested in things like cognitive load. So it's always been a very high cognitive load profession, the contact center advisor role. And that's largely because you're trying to manage a conversation whilst also usually managing 10 different systems, trying to remember rules and processes, all of that stuff. So all of that's the back end stuff that potentially, again, if done right, the AI can start to take on. So the wrap stuff, which is becoming more and more common, is just one of the sort of initial nibbles, I guess, into what the AI could do for the advisor. But then when we start to sort of look at agentic AI, which is the current hypey bit of AI, which I always call, that's basically chat GPT on steroids. So it's not only something that can have a conversation with you, it's something that can actually action stuff into the back end. So if you've got something there, a fleet of AI agents who are effectively being deployed by your advisor, who is hopefully concentrating on the conversation rather than the back end systems, what the advisor that can then do is simply then kick off a whole ton of processes into that back end. So again, we're already seeing this in robotic process automation. Again, it's robotic process automation and steroids, but with the advisor potentially in control and managing, maybe a fleet of these little AI agents to go back into the back end systems, to manage supply chains, to get information from multiple other parties or multiple other systems, and then bring that forward so the advisor is there effectively mediating all that with the customer. So it's the customer that's the important bit, not the back end system. And again, I'm hoping, again, if done right, that AI augmentation piece might actually become supercharged by agentic AI, so that the advisors need to then manage that. Now, that means everyone potentially is managing fleets of agents, and that's a leadership task. Now, admittedly, it's a slightly different leadership task to a human leadership task, but we're all probably going to have a number of agents working for us. So that in itself is going to be a skill that we need to develop into the future.